Yes, people, welcome back to the first XI to the next gen. Guys, how are we?
I'm doing all right, thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad. I mean, for my team, look, I try to take it out of the situation, but if we're talking football, I'm not doing too good right now. I'm not doing too good.
Yeah, it's expected. Your downfall was something I've been looking forward to for a long time.
I didn't see it
Yeah,
coming, man.
Klopp has it in his history. He did the same with Dortmund, and now he's doing it with Liverpool. So it's just a matter of time until you're scrapping for relegation.
Will, what were we saying, man?
Oh, I'm good. Very good after tonight's result. So yeah, I'm just happy. At the weekend, a bit disappointed, but that's all forgotten now. That's all forgotten.
And Ibs.
Yeah, I'm good. We're still applying the pressure on City, so yeah, finish the cup.
I see what you did there. Trying to get the banter kicking off. We're going to talk about Atletico Madrid, Chelsea. For me, I've seen loads of people on Twitter saying Chelsea are in control of the game. I was like, have you ever watched Atletico Madrid in your life?
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone who plays Atletico are in control.
Yeah, it's almost like Atletico are actually the ones in control because they want you to have the ball.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Well, obviously, you're a Chelsea fan. A really good win for you. For me, that Giroud goal wasn't that great, but you probably think otherwise.
Stop it. Yeah, it was a professional performance. I didn't expect to win tonight, if I'm being honest, but it was good to get a surprise. Atletico just didn't really turn up though. They were really poor. Suarez was awful. Christensen had him in his pocket, and that's Christensen and Rudiger, average centre backs. Felix was average as well. I think Hudson-Odoi caused. I think Lamar was awful. Their worst player for Atletico by far. Hudson-Odoi and Mount were running rings around him. So yeah, it was a good performance, and we got the crucial away goal which we needed.
Indiana says, "Sonny dreaming of a striker who could do that." I'm not going to fight back, bro. I'm not defending Firmino. Ibs, on that Chelsea Atletico game, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, obviously, Atletico, they sit back and try to play on the counter, but they just didn't really have anyone. As you said, Lamar was poor. Suarez was just dominated by the Chelsea centre backs, and Chelsea, when they dominated the ball, they just needed that one chance and they took it. I mean, there was a question of offside. I don't really understand the rules anymore, but it was a goal, and they deserved the away goal.
I think it was. I think everyone thought that Mount touched the ball onto Giroud, but it was actually their centre back Moso who flicked it on.
Oh yeah, it did look offside to be fair, but if
he would have been offside if Mount touched it, but he didn't.
I think the offside rule is, in terms of that context, is if the defender touches it with an attempt to genuinely touch the ball, then it's onside. But if it gets kicked onto the defender and he doesn't mean to touch it, then it's still classed as your teammate fighting through. Then it would be offside.
Well, Anton, on that, do you think Chelsea deserved the win?
To be perfectly honest, I didn't watch the match. I'm a bit of a Bayern Munich fan, part-time Bayern Munich fan, so I was studying that game. But I did see Giroud's goal. Very, very tough goal to score. I think if someone scores a bicycle, you expect it to fly in the top bins. That's when it's classed as a good bicycle kick. But
I'm telling you, man, that goal's not as good as people saying it is.
I think no, but he made it bounce, so it was obviously going to be a lot harder for Oblak to save.
I think when you take a bicycle kick from that far out, it's a matter of let me just get it on target at least. Yeah. And when it goes in, that's just a bit of an extra bonus. But Giroud has a catalogue of sublime goals anyway, so I'm not so surprised that he was able to put that in the back of the net.
Yeah, everyone watching, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed as well. Samuel, what's going on, man? What do you make of that game? Chelsea Atletico.
No, I think Chelsea deserved that win, to be honest. You know, I predicted it. I said Chelsea will get away goal here. Will knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. But, you know, that was a good goal, you know. People still trying to moan about the decision. I think it was the right one to, according to the law of the game. You know, it came off the defender, and you know what? It's such a good goal, bro. Oblak is like one of the top 2 goalkeepers in the world, or the best goalkeeper in the world. And to do that towards him, I mean, it takes something special to do that. Chelsea, I think, it's more than 50 or 60% likely that they're going to go through now, in my eyes.
Absolutely not.
Trust me, I can tell you, no, they're not. They're not.
I want them to draw Liverpool again next round, because those Liverpool and Chelsea Champions League
we ain't through yet.
Wasn't it like 10 or 12 years ago? I think it was the 08 Oh wait,
Yeah.
Champions League. The last time we played each other.
Yeah, but I think there was like a 4-year period where they played each other every season. So I'll like to see that again.
Samuel, it's going to be difficult though. This the second leg because Jorginho and Mount are suspended because they got booked. That's going to be difficult.
I can still see. I mean, 1-1 draw or 0-0 draw. That's what I see. I mean, Atletico tonight. I mean, it's hot. I just don't like. I never like watching them. I just don't. I know I got Mikel Arteta as my manager, but still, I can't enjoy Atletico Madrid's type of football. I just don't like it.
It's great if you're winning. It's great if you're winning.
But today it showed why how the flaws of the system. I mean, yes, you can win 50% of the time, 80% of the time, the top for a reason. But in these big games, knockout games, it failed, and it messes up real bad when it fails.
You saw it against,
always been your case.
You saw it against Leipzig last year as well. Failed miserably.
They could have, they could have won it last year in my eyes. They were one of the favorites. I think they could have won it last year if they went. Yeah, the MIs. They had they knocked out Liverpool. And then RB Leipzig just knocked them out easily. You know what? RB Leipzig lost 3-0 to PSG. I'll say they beat PSG because that PSG team I don't think was fit or good enough to be in that final. In my eyes.
Nah,
definitely
PSG
had players missing. They definitely had players missing though at the time. Verratti wasn't fully fit. I think Mbappe was playing certain games, but I don't think he was fully fit even.
He was on his way back from injury, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on. Anyway, I want to talk about Lazio Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich won 4-1, which is for me that's expected, man. That's expected. Serbi got an own goal for Lazio. Sane, Musiala, Lewandowski. What do we make of that Bayern game?
I think in general, Lazio were going to be the whipping boys of the knockout stages. Usually it's Porto, but this season Lazio took that from them. Bayern Munich, I think, they're my favourites for the Champions League this year. Lewandowski, when you have an attacking lineup like Bayern Munich with Lewandowski, Coman, and Sane, with the pace that they have, the amount of sprints that Sane and Coman were afforded, I don't think Lazio had the right game plan at all. I mean, if you're going to play against a team like that, you kind of have to. Well, personally, I would sit deep to not allow the wingers to have that room in behind, but they just got completely outclassed. They look like an amateur team. Lazio, if I'm totally honest.
I swear there's a stat with Bayern where it's probably changed now because I'm pretty sure they've lost a couple games since the start, but they had like more trophies and losses.
Yeah, under Hansi Flick. Yeah, I don't know if that's changed. But
they've been lost since that start.
That's naughty.
Yeah. Will, do you know anything about the Bayern game?
All I know is that every time Musiala scores, I get a bit sadder because we let him go from our academy. But yeah, that's. I think Bayern with Lazio, I'd have expected them to put up more of a fight if I'm being honest, because they have quality in their team. They have. Did Immobile play? I didn't actually.
Yes, he did play.
They have Immobile, Luis Alberto, players like that. I would have expected them to at least put up a fight. But Bayern Munich, if you go toe to toe with them 8 times, 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose. So
yeah, I know firsthand about that experience in the Champions League.
See, that's where a manager like Diego Simeone would probably maybe scrape a draw in a match like this, because he knows how to defend against teams that will absolutely obliterate you if they're allowed any time on the ball. To be fair to Lazio, if I'm going to be nice to them, they didn't play too badly. It's just they didn't adapt for this game. They played how they would usually play. They had a few good chances. They probably should have scored a couple more goals, but I feel like they panicked when they got into the 18-yard box, which obviously isn't very good. Davies isn't the best defensively, and I think that showed tonight. Lazaro on the right-hand side isn't as fast as him, but it looks like he was. He was able to get past Davies a few times, win a couple of free kicks, but ultimately they just didn't have the quality to find the back of the net.
Anton, may I ask
come back to Davies? Go on.
May I ask who was the centre-back partnership today for Bayern?
It was Alaba and I think it was Sula, but he was on the right a little bit. I can't remember who the other centre-back was.
Okay.
I'll check now, actually.
Yeah, because from what I've seen from Bayern this year, that their defence has been got at a lot of times. I watched the game versus Mönchengladbach, and Neuhaus tore Alaba apart. So I think Bayern can be got at, but you can't. You have to have a slight touch of pragmatism to your game if you have a chance of beating them over 2 legs.
The other centre back was Boateng, by the way.
Okay.
You also have to hope that they kind of just don't turn up if you want to be Bayern Munich, because again they have Lewandowski. I mean, I don't care how good they're playing or how bad they're playing. If he gets a chance, he's going to find it back in the net.
I think it's just their entire attack. They have too much pace. Like on the wings, so much pace. And obviously, if I have striker in the box, he's just going to always score. So,
yeah, it was disappointing that they cancelled the Ballon d'Or last year because he was a clear winner for it. Out of anyone, he deserved it more than Messi, Ronaldo, even all the others. You know, the outsiders last year, Kevin De Bruyne for the Ballon d'Or. I mean, out of anyone in Europe or even in the world, I think he's the best player, and he still is right now.
May I ask one more question to Anton? Did Goretzka is Goretzka out at the moment as well?
No, he was playing, but he came off
Okay.
for, I want to say
Martinez.
So I'm guessing he's recovering and slowly coming back from injury. Then I'm guessing
because he had a decent game.
Yeah,
he was holding his arm when he came off. I'm not sure if that was either from just a little challenge or maybe he was hurting a little bit. But he didn't look too happy when he came off. That's why.
For me, if Bayern want to win the Champions League, they've got to keep Kimmich and Goretzka fit. Otherwise, I think if one of them's missing, I think their midfield at times can collapse a little bit.
Yeah.
With Bayern, I just think they just score more goals in the opposition. I just think that's it. I don't rate them defensively.
A lot of the best teams over the past 15 years genuinely just outscore their opponents. And that's what Bayern Munich do. They always seem to concede. They just lost on the weekend, I think.
Yeah.
So they are like a human team.
Yeah.
Hansi Flick's first few months in charge obviously was littered with trophies, but I feel like he's getting brought a little bit back down to earth at the moment. Yeah. But it was 4 away goals as well, which is something that was a mention.
They're through.
Yeah, they're through. 100%.
Yeah. I want to, before we go to the Premier League, I want to speak about the City Gladbach game tomorrow. For me, that's City all over it. City are my favourites to win the Champions League, but what about you lot?
Nah, I can never see City. They come on, man, the Champions League bottlers. I'm sorry, no matter where they go,
still won it, man.
No, but Sonny, it was 10 years ago, and he had one of the best teams of all time.
He's got one of the best teams ever. Like, not ever, but right now, probably the best team.
I look at this right now in the Champions League. If they play Bayern Munich, I believe they'll lose. If they play, I'm putting controversial statement out. If they play Liverpool, they'll lose. Because
Samuel.
No. Wait. In the Champions League, Liverpool are a different team. If you remember in the 17-18 season where City were even better than they were now, and Liverpool, they were about to peak to the top. They came to Anfield, and what happened? The squad was 3-0.
There's one thing that's changed since then. City are actually better defensively now.
This is controversial as well. I'd argue their squad is better now than it was when they got 100 points. I'd argue it's better now, like all round. You got to think they had company out for like almost all of that season. Laporte was bought in January, and even he got a couple of injuries. Now they've got Stones, Diaz, Laporte, and they've got Garcia and Ake as centre-back options. I know Garcia and Ake aren't the best, but that's still pretty good. They've got Mahrez now on the bench as well. Did they have Bernardo Silva? Yeah, they did have Bernardo Silva in 17-18, but I'd argue their squad is probably better now, overall.
I'll say that obviously their squad is better and defensively they are better. But in terms of the cup competition and Champions League, your attack, I feel like other teams like Bayern have a much better attack, or they're more clinical than City, for example, who they don't really have an out-and-out striker. They play with like a false 9. I don't feel in like over 2 legs, if they play like a Bayern, they would win. Or if it's in the final, I don't feel like they would actually win these type of games.
If I'm being honest, I can see this being PSG's year.
They're not doing too well. Pochettino, I don't think has settled in that brilliantly.
He's not done too well, has he?
Yeah. I think they have one of the lowest points that they've had after a certain amount of games winning.
I'll defend Pochettino though in this sense. I think when everyone looks at Ligue 1 and you look at the talent that PSG have, and I'm not even saying you guys do this. I'm just saying I think that there's a little bit of an overreaction to see a team like PSG lose games. Over a actually, how many teams are in Ligue 1? Is it 18 or 20? Is it
20? I think it's 20. Yeah.
So over a 38-game period, you're going to lose games. You're going to go through rough patches like any other team does. If you look at PSG's quality they have, I think it suits the Champions League. You got Kimpembe, Marquinhos, for me, two of the best centre backs in the world. Navas is very, very good. Verratti, for me, is top 3 midfielders. You got Neymar when he's back. You got Mbappe, Icardi, who's okay, but he's still a good player. You got Moise Kean. I just think in times like this, I think this suits PSG. The only problem PSG have is their fullbacks. I think they're
they're 4 points behind Rennes in the league though, and they just lost 2-0 to Monaco the other day.
But those games happen.
Come on, Monaco is a big
those
game.
Games happen. Come on now.
No, but it's those games are bound to happen over a 38-game period. You're going to go through rough patches, and they will still win the league.
I'm not going to lie. I do have to disagree with you about their whole squad. Marquinhos, he's all right. He's very good, but he's definitely not one of the best in the world, along with Kimpembe. Florenzi's decent, but there's a reason Roma let him go, and there's a reason he didn't do well at Valencia. The only 2 players I have that could possibly carry them to anything is Neymar and Mbappe. Di Maria's falling off. Icardi's never really delivered on the European stage, and they have a goalkeeper in Navas that obviously won it 4 times with Real Madrid, but I just don't feel like with the squad they have and the manager they have, I just don't see them coming close to it this year.
I have to disagree on the centre backs. I think players like Marquinhos and Kimpembe are a manager's dream. If I'm being honest, I think they're both top 10 centre backs in the world. Because you mentioned you watch Bayern Munich. You're like a part-time Bayern Munich admirer or whatever. That's like me with PSG. So I sort of have a bias towards them in that sense. So I don't know. I think they could win it. I think they could.
I feel like if PSG's exact team was in the Premier League or La Liga, they came up against different, tougher opponents every week, they would be more accustomed to playing, higher level teams when they do play in the Champions League. But because they have such easy games, I feel like they take their foot off the gas. And then when they come up against a Bayern Munich or a Barcelona in the Champions League, I said Barcelona like they didn't just win, but when they come up against a tougher team in the Champions League, it's like I feel like it's a bit of a shock to them because they just played against Bordeaux on the weekend 5 weeks in a row, and it's just I get a bit too fast.
I get where you're coming from, and I do agree to a certain extent, but I think that team are full of winners, and I don't think they're complacent in that sense. I think they know what they step into when they face a higher level of opposition. And I think and I know everyone says the opposition in Ligue 1 is rubbish, yeah. I sort of agree and disagree to a certain extent.
You agree, Will. Stop it, man. You just agree. Like we know.
No, but PSG have got a far better team. I don't think the teams around them are necessarily that bad. I just think they're far better.
But Will, one thing I'll say about PSG, it all depends on Neymar because he doesn't care most of the time. I mean, he's not there. He's never interested. You can see him on PSG opening matches, and he got on his Instagram story. This guy is not even in the country. Sometimes he's even in Brazil having a party. People, it's a little fishy what he does because the past 6 years now, he's been injured on his sister's birthday. I know he made a response to that, but it's a little bit.
Oh my god!
I'm just saying it's a coincidence, is it? Because how can you be injured 6 years in a row on the same day? I mean, come on.
Oh my god!
Why? I think we know why. We're going to move on to the Premier League games anyway. I think we should go over the West Ham Spurs one. I very much enjoyed that game. Antonio and Lingard with the goals. You seen that West Ham? They celebrate their goals at pro clubs, man. It's mad. But Tottenham, they're not getting much better, are they?
It's Jose Mourinho. He just needs to leave. He's Tottenham. I don't know. It's not good. Not good positive football. The way they play, like teams like West Ham, are obviously doing well at the moment. It's just like an easy win for West Ham, and obviously David Moyes is doing well at West Ham. And Jose just needs to leave Spurs, otherwise they're going to keep going further and further down the league.
I must admit, it is nice to see Mourinho ruining another club, but I've always had a little bit of a soft spot for Tottenham, mainly because they're not a threat to Manchester United or any sort of title. But I do think that I feel like they're going to scrape something at the end of the season. Because it's Mourinho.
Man. People who are saying Jose out, he's in to do one thing, and that's to win a trophy. He can still easily do that.
I believe they're still in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, in the final.
Carabao Cup, and it's not that big in Jose's eyes. That's nothing.
No,
Well,
I disagree. I think he'll want to win that very
Yeah,
badly.
he will. Mourinho will want to win it because Mourinho is all about himself, whether
And his
he
ego,
wants to admit
yeah.
it or not.
Yeah.
Tottenham don't win trophies. They won that pre-season trophy a few years ago. It's a meme now, and it will be forever. But Mourinho will come in, whether or not he finishes 4th or 8th. If they win that Carabao Cup, that's his leg to stand on, and he will milk that until the cows go home. And I just feel like that will be on his, the top of his to-do list.
The thing is with Spurs, yeah, some of their fans would rather play good football and finish 6th than play crap football, finish 8th and get a trophy. I don't understand that. I don't understand.
But Tottenham fans can't talk because they don't win anything.
But what I mean with that is like you might as well just win a trophy and finish a little bit lower down the table because you're still going to get Europa League either way.
No, what I think it is, I think once they get that trophy, which might be this season, if they get that with Jose, I think if they sack Jose from then, that can happen. Because once they have that trophy, I think the players change.
Yeah.
But the thing that what I say about Tottenham right now, what happens if they don't win a trophy? It's gonna go way worse than it is right now.
Will,
and I can't think of a better club to get Jose Mourinho at his toxic nature. I can't think of any club in the Premier League than Tottenham Hotspur. Because I remember when he got no. I can remember 2 months ago where they were saying, we're going, look at this football playing, Son's on fire, we're gonna win the league. They were top of the league. It seems like I still don't know how they were top of the league for that long, but they were guessing themselves up, and then of course 1 season early, toxic Jose kicks in. It usually happens in the 3rd season. In the 2nd season, usually do well in the league, usually get a couple of trophies. But Tottenham, they skipped the 2nd season and gone straight into the 3rd season, which is toxic Jose. I think a club like Tottenham doesn't suit Jose at all because the manager has to be back constantly. With all the money, at Chelsea, he got of course I love it if Spurs lose the final.
Julian Nagelsmann is the perfect fit for Spurs.
Don't even. You can't even talk. He wouldn't downgrade because
what I mean if he went to Tottenham, it'll be a good stepping stone for him in his career because that's what Tottenham are. They're a stepping stone. They're not a massive club. They're just a stepping stone. He doesn't have to win. He doesn't have that expectation to win trophies every season. That's perfect for him. Not that much pressure. He's good at building a system to fit the players he has, which when you have an owner like Daniel Levy, that's good. It'll be a perfect fit.
But he's got something better at Leipzig. So why are we going to go to Tottenham?
The Premier League and the money. He'd go to Tottenham for sure.
No, but he's at RB Leipzig right now. They have some of the best players in the Bundesliga,
but they still won't win it. They won't win it though.
They're a couple points behind Bayern. You never know. Bayern can just
they're not going to win it.
I'm saying the next couple years, he's got a good project going at Leipzig. So the next couple years,
yeah, but would you rather have a project at Leipzig which could guarantee you 2nd every season, or would you go to Tottenham in the Premier League? He's just going to finish 2nd every year, maybe 3rd every year, with maybe a Puckle or something like that.
But the thing is, what happens if he goes to Tottenham? Goes to England first time. Tottenham usually don't really put a lot of investment into the manager. He doesn't get the backing. Tottenham finish 10th. He's going to ruin his reputation.
But that won't happen, though. Really. That's not going to happen. They won't finish 10th.
But people said that earlier, a couple months ago, look, Jose won't fall off the 10th place, 9th place, and look what happened now.
But Jose and Nagelsmann are completely different managers, though, aren't they?
No, but still, you don't doubt the impossible in football because anything can happen. Nothing is a guarantee.
If Nagelsmann goes to Spurs and gets them in the top 4 or 5th every year for like 3 years, and he wins like 1 trophy, that could be a great stepping stone for him. You got them. He can show himself in the Premier League, the quote unquote greatest league in football.
Basically, he's going to be another Poch, but he's just going to win 1 trophy.
Exactly. Well, he might not win. He might not win anything, but he's a good manager, and then he can get that. He can get that bigger job.
They just shouldn't have let Pochettino go. They ruined it. They ruined whatever they were trying to do. Eventually, Harry Kane and Heung-min Son, especially, are going to have to leave if they want to win something. And I doubt Harry Kane would honestly settle for Tottenham because he could be 31 with a Carabao Cup. And for a player of his quality, it's not good enough. And I know he loves Spurs and he wants to be a club legend there, which he probably already is. But he really does need to go. And when he leaves, you don't bring in the level of player that you might have been able to bring in if he was there. Other players might leave, and then eventually you're going to become the team that you were in 2008.
It would be so Tottenham to sell Kane and get Danny Ings. That would be so.
Well,
But that's what they might have to do.
Yeah, do you see Kane and Son staying a further season, or do you think this summer?
Yeah, they're not going to leave. They're not leaving this summer. Because if they were, we would have heard rumors by now.
Yeah,
a rumor doesn't.
No, but
happen.
I think it's because we don't know what's going to happen this season. I think we wait to the end of the season, see if they do anything.
You know what?
We know.
One thing I'll say about Tottenham is I look at Ledley King. I mean, no offense to this, but Ledley King is basically Sol Campbell if he stayed at Tottenham. That's what he is, because I mean, Ledley King was touted as to be one of the best defenders of his generation. Yes, he had injuries, but he got nothing to his name, just one League Cup. That's all he was known for. So Campbell left Tottenham, and he's regarded as one of the best defenders of his generation. 2 Premier Leagues, and a couple FA Cups. So Tottenham as a club, I mean, in the past 20 years, 30 years, they have not been successful one bit. They've won 2 trophies since 1994, I think. There's the League Cup in 99 and the League Cup in 08.
But Samuel, if Kane stays at Spurs and wins maybe a Carabao Cup, who's going to be remembered more, Kane or Origi? Let's be honest. Origi will be remembered more.
Yeah, don't chat to me about Origi, man. I'm not here for this.
He won the Champions League. Come on, you can't.
Yeah, and scoring in the final and the semi-final.
Origi is finished. He was a clutch player. No, he was never a player apart from maybe 6 months where he had immense potential, but he hasn't fulfilled it, and 2, he was never a player that was brought in to be the main striker to score 30 goals a season. Yeah, he's a clutch player off the bench. He's like a B-Tech Solskjaer, and that's
he ain't even that, man. He's not that.
Obviously, Kane is a far better player than Origi, but if Kane achieves nothing, then he won't be remembered like other players.
He'll be remembered in different ways. He'll be remembered for the records. His personal accolades he'll be remembered for, but in terms of, he was with Tottenham, boo, it's rubbish. But him as a player, I'd put him as one of the top 3 strikers in the world.
Yeah. I'd put him top 2 probably, Kane.
Would you class him
He's a playmaker as well, Kane.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's in all fairness to Mourinho, I know he hasn't done the best at Tottenham, but he has helped Kane improve his game massively along with Son. He's whatever partnership they had before he came, he's managed to just completely form it, and it was scary for a few weeks, but obviously it's Tottenham, so you know.
That was soon to go. Southampton Chelsea 1-1. For me, that was a dead game. It was a really dead game. But Minamino scored an amazing goal. That's what I do remember that game for. Thoughts on that game?
All I've got to say about that game is who, at the start of the season, gassed up Kurt Zuma. Oh my God,
That was you, Will. You and your family.
I never gassed up Zuma. I said he was playing decent at the time. Yeah, he is the most overrated centre back this season by far. He's clumsy. His positioning is awful. He's literally only good in the air. He's probably on form. He's definitely our worst defender. But I can't even say he's our worst defender when we have players like Rudiger. So
you can't disrespect Rudiger like that. Rudiger is your best. I think he's your best defender. I don't care if you think it's. I've had enough. I've heard Silva's name once in 2 months, and I'm already annoyed. I don't think you're. What is he? 36 years old now.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Actually, I agree with you. With Zuma. Zuma's our worst centre back. Let's just say that now. Zuma's the worst. Then you got Christensen and Rudiger on the same level. Then you got Silva.
Rudiger's an international defender. You don't play that many times for Germany by accident. He's a very good defender, and to be perfectly honest, he'd be one of our better centre backs. But I feel like I don't know. Your team is a tiny bit like Tottenham. You go through great patches of form for like a year or something, win a trophy, and then for the next year and a half, you're literally 10th or 8th.
Yeah, but the difference between us and Tottenham is that they get to a final or they're the runners up, and we actually win.
Yeah, that's the thing with your team. Now you're fighting for top 4, which I don't think you're going to make, by the way. But I feel like your whole team is just stagnating a little bit.
Well, to be honest, with Tuchel's first 7 games, they have won 5 and drawn 2. So I would say they have like improved, obviously, but it's just games like against Southampton where you expect them to win, and then
I agree with you guys in the sense that now we're challenging for top 4. It's not where we want to be. I'm embarrassed that we have to challenge for top 4 every year. I wanna be challenging for the title every year, but our business in the last few years have been shocking. Deals like Morata, Bakayoko, even if you look at Werner and Havertz, they've not done anything. Havertz will probably come good, but
yes, definitely will.
Werner, if you look at Werner's technical ability, he's very limited. You've got to play to his strengths. He's a system player, really. So it's going to be difficult, and that's why I hope we actually evaluate our options if we're done in the summer.
Yeah, we should. Like you said, also you should have gone Declan Rice, but you couldn't get him because he overspent all other players.
We were looking at. I think we were arrogant with Declan Rice. We would have got Partey if we weren't so arrogant with Declan Rice, thinking we'd get that deal done. We should have been realistic. West Ham weren't going to back down. They never were. But yeah, I can see us challenging next year if our business is good this summer. But I'm not keeping my hopes up.
You won't challenge next year. I'm sorry.
We have a great manager. Our manager is better than yours.
Would that be enough?
The only reason you won't challenge me is because Man City is so good.
Yeah, and that's it. And you have to remember, Manchester United, as much hate as we get, we are there or thereabouts. And the table tells a story. We are improving. We're linked with Declan Rice, and hopefully we get him. We're also linked with Sancho. Hopefully we get him. If we do continue to improve the players in our squad and our general play, along with Solskjaer improving his tactics and just him as a manager, Chelsea challenging, I can't see.
May I ask you guys, the United fans, a question? Yeah, may I ask you guys a question? If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't win a trophy this year, would you sack him?
No. Depends where we finish.
Yeah,
if you finish top 3 and no trophy,
have to be way more specific. If we finish second,
he has to be second.
Yeah, if we scrape a loss, I mean, if we lose the title by a little bit to Man City, keep him, because then there's genuine progress. Mm. If we buckle at the end of the season, go on another 10 or 11 game poor, terrible run, we have to think about whether he might be the right man, because then that just shows us again that he cannot sustain a decent winning run of games.
See, it's like the difficult thing with Man United. I don't know if he's the guy to win you guys trophies, but he's not doing a bad job, so you can't sack him.
He's doing the best job since Alex Ferguson.
Yeah.
I think Mourinho in the season he won the Carabao Europa League.
Mourinho was never building anything, man.
But at the end of the day, he won 3 honours and 2 trophies.
That's not why you bring Mourinho in. So if anybody expected him to, let me play Angel Gomez here every week to develop his career. Let me go into he's not going to do that.
Jose got quite unlucky, actually, though. If you look at with injuries to his signings.
What I'll say about Oli is that he's going to be the first manager since Alex Ferguson left in back-to-back seasons where Man United get Champions League football, because that hasn't happened before. Because in 14-15, they finished in the Champions League spot, and then in the following season they will just fall out of the top 4. It happens.
Just pain for 8 years, man.
I've been going through it.
It has been like the best period. I've actually once said that we can win the league this season, so I haven't said that in the past like 10 years.
You've not been saying it a lot recently.
Yeah.
With Manchester United, though, if you look at who's out there that you could replace Oli with, you've got to have a clear improvement and someone that suits what you're trying to do.
That's the problem.
I
can't see anyone that would come in and improve us straight away. Because you might want to bring in a manager and hope that he wins you anything in the first year, but if we're being real, it's just going to be another 2 to 3 year plan, and we're quite deep into Ollie's plan, and I wouldn't. It doesn't seem reasonable to let him go at this point.
Nagelsmann for me would not be a good fit for Man United. I don't think Nagelsmann would be the guy. I don't think. Obviously, Rose is going to Dortmund now. The only one I could see really succeeding is maybe Allegri.
We've
I'm not
spoken
gonna lie, I
about it
see
for years.
Solskjaer succeeding.
Yeah, that's
No,
the
but
thing.
I mean-
I see him succeeding as well, but
I mean, in the sense of winning trophies, I think if you want to win trophies, Allegri is your guy.
if we win the FA Cup this year,
Fair enough. If you win the
Solskjaer?
FA Cup, yeah.
that would be like a romantic trophy for him, because he has a lot of history as a player in that competition, and he knows what it's all about. It's in the United DNA. It was obviously part of the trouble, so I know that he'll want to definitely win that.
And you guys as well will have the right to gas it up. Unlike Arsenal last year that finished 8th, you'll get top 4 and the trophy.
No, hang on. You said that you were all this mighty team with Frank Lampard. You were this mighty team with Frank Lampard, or Frank Lampard this, Frank Lampard that, and he took that. He had to hold that L. Because he kept that high line, and Azpilicueta got done when But at the
Tini
time you
played
want
the
to
ball over the top.
Why didn't you say this at the time? At the time, none of you were criticizing Lampard. You're all
I
praising
criticised him, but I didn't call for his head. I didn't call for his head until I actually can't remember. I think it was the Wolves game. The Wolves game.
I don't
even-
think it's exact.
Even on his run, you could see things were going wrong in games, but and I know you need moments of individual brilliance to win games. I understand that. Like with Giroud tonight, if Giroud didn't do that crazy overhead kick, we wouldn't have won. But there was
Behave. Overhead kick.
but
Just overhead kick.
okay, with the overhead kick, we wouldn't have won. But there was just with Lampard, there was just things going wrong, even in the games we were just winning. So when we didn't change it up and we started to lose, that's when I lost all hope.
Yeah, but surely with Tuchel, the games you're winning, you're not winning confident.
No, but you can tell there's an improvement. There's a
You
massive.
you can tell that he wants to keep possession of the ball and obviously tie out the opposition.
We're better structured defensively. We're winning the ball back quicker. The opposition passes before defensive action is a lot. I think we've decreased the amount of time the opponent passes the ball by like a third before we win the ball back. We're keeping control of games a lot more. It's just like
manager bounce.
No, it's not a manager, but it's not a manager bounce. Trust me.
It definitely is. I think you can only judge a new manager after about 15 to 20 games. You can't judge a new manager after about 5 games because the players are, they're in reaction.
That's fair enough. I'm not even getting too far ahead of myself.
No. You said yesterday you could win the Champions League.
Who?
That was no, wait.
I hope you meant 5 minutes.
Wait. This is. I think I said if we beat Atletico comfortably, we have a chance of going far. I never said win it. I said we could go out Bayern because I don't like Bayern's defense, but we don't. What we have to do is not do what Lazio did. We have to have a slight touch of pragmatism.
Hope you
and
got
wait
some
for
good
key
sleep
moments to
since you
strike.
said that.
Sorry.
I hope you got some good sleep since you said that because that is wild.
Yeah.
No, what? Okay, let's look at Bayern's defense. Alaba is not a great centre back. Let's be honest.
He's one of the top defenders in the world.
Are you trying to make
in centre back? I'm sorry, in centre back. I've spoken to Bayern Munich fans about this, and I watch quite a few Bayern Munich games. I don't think he's that good in centre back. Boateng is washed up. Sula's talented, very talented, but is made of glass.
Same with don't score that many goals.
Same with Lucas Hernandez. Davies is a little bit overrated. Still a great player, but overrated. Pavard is just good. Maybe a bit average.
Wait. What happened last year when they came to the bridge and in the Allianz? They beat 7-1 aggregate, 3-0 average.
Yeah, we had a far worse team there and a far worse manager.
Still, there's not a lot. There's still a better Bayern Munich team. They've improved as well. They got Leroy Sané in, which I believe has made them better. And now they got a little more people coming through.
They missed Thiago.
Yeah, they missed Thiago, but Thiago is injury prone.
And if Goretzka or Kimmich isn't playing, I'll be even more confident. When both are playing,
you don't score that many goals, and Bayern score a lot of goals. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Okay, but we are better structured defensively now.
Your defense wasn't that good.
You got Antonio Rudiger at the back. What do you think? You were just criticizing him a minute ago.
And we're playing to a system that suits him.
If I can just go back to you talking about Alaba, he's not he's very, very good. There's a reason Real Madrid want him. There's a reason he's been an integral part of their defense for the last decade. There's a reason. I don't know. I just can't even think of anything else to say. He's one of the best in the world.
He's average. I think
he's average. Nah,
I think he's average in centre back. Left back.
He's their best centre back.
I think in left back he's probably top 5 left backs in the world. And I think in midfield he's very good as well. In average, I wouldn't take him at Chelsea. No way.
Bayern Munich. Oh, yeah. Well then.
But he's gone Real Madrid.
You can challenge for fourth. You can challenge for fourth.
Real Madrid. Yeah, they're gonna give him 400k a week and get rid of Varane and Ramos. That's fine.
Oh, Will, come on now.
Will. I think with Bayern Munich, because they score so many goals and because they're so efficient and clinical up front, their defense just doesn't get the credit it deserves. Obviously, Davies isn't a natural left back; he's a natural winger, so he's going to get exposed defensively. But when you have players like Alaba, who is their best centre back, I feel like he just does such. I feel like he does an amazing job. I'd love him at Man United, and he'd 100% be our best centre back.
You look at your centre back options. Look at Bayern's other centre back options. Lucas Hernandez is very talented, but again injured a lot.
Yeah, he's
Same with Sula.
They have all of their defenders are injury prone. Boateng, Sula, Pavard, Hernandez. Not really Davies. He just had a big injury. I wouldn't call that injury prone. He's just unlucky. Alaba's the mainstay. He's the staple in their back line that keeps them together. And obviously they have.
He's a good leader. He's a good leader, and I'm not doubting his technical ability. But I reckon if he moved to Manchester United, I reckon he'd get split apart.
No,
I think he'd get torn apart.
I personally think, along with Varane or Konate from Leipzig, he'd be Harry Maguire's ideal partner. Not saying Harry Maguire is the best, and he wouldn't be the better player in that defensive two, but he's the one that will complement him the best. He's good in the air. He's very good on the ball. He's very composed. He doesn't look flustered that much.
Is he that great in the air? Is he that great?
He's better than he's deceptively good in the air because he's not the tallest centre back, and that's becoming sort of a new thing. Look at Koundé. He's one of the
I rate Koundé very highly. I think he's better than Alaba as a centre back.
I feel like centre backs don't necessarily get chosen on being 6'5". You can easily be a 6 foot, 5'11" centre back nowadays.
I don't know. I think Alaba will get torn apart in the Premier League in centre back. In left back, he'd be very good, or in midfield he would. But centre back,
he's not better than Shaw at left back. I'll say that.
Oh,
overall, he's a better player.
Yeah, but would he take Shaw out of that team?
No one takes Shaw out of that team.
If you were gonna, let's say if Lindelof and Maguire had to play, or Baye and Maguire had to play, and you had one option left for Alaba or Shaw, Alaba gets in. Because the name,
left back.
The name, his wages.
If you're gonna make it political in terms of name and wages, then yes, because Alaba's one of the more popular footballers. But Shaw, on merit and performances and quality of his gameplay this season, definitely gets it.
Yeah, definitely on form. Shaw on form, is probably top 2, if not the best left back in the Premier League. But I'm looking at overall. Ability is better than performances. Judging a player off of ability is better than performances.
No, I would disagree. If that's
I don't know, man.
That's so tricky because it only applies to some players, like big name players.
Yeah,
like real big name players.
So, would you if you had the chance to sign Kimpembe or Alaba, who would you sign?
Alaba.
Alaba.
Nah, Kimpembe's so much better.
I think Alaba's a better fit because he can play left back and centre back. You can get 2 positions in one.
Kimpembe has lapses in concentration.
But then you could say that for a lot of centre backs as well. But the
thing about Kimpembe is because in a few years he's going to develop into his peak form. With Alaba, you're getting a player at the top of his game right now. So obviously, if you want to be successful right now, you take Alaba.
Yeah, and Alaba's he hasn't touched 30 yet, so we'd have him at least for 4 years being at the top level of the back.
I have to disagree, but that's fine. We can agree to disagree.
And that's what we'll do.
It's nice when you're second.
Well, we're gonna move on. I'm gonna let you lot go first on this. Liverpool 0, Everton 2.
No, I think you should go first.
No.
I'll go first. I'll
realize that was the next game. I've got to think about this, man.
I'll take the 4 here. I mean, apparently the greatest team in Premier League history and the worst title defense in Premier League history.
Hang on, can I just stop you there? This isn't the team that won the Premier League last season, though, is it?
I mean, you got most of the players there, just missing Van Dijk.
Most,
defenders.
apart from the best ones.
No. You got Mo Salah still there, Roberto Firmino still there, Sadio Mane still
Don't
there.
mention Firmino, man. Why are you
It's
doing mention Firmino? Get out of here, Firmino.
But I thought Firmino was like the best defensive striker.
No.
I thought Klopp was the best manager in the world. I thought he was. Oh, that's what I was told.
The fullbacks were the best in the world as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't
I
even
thought
have to
Trent
go
was
left back in the league
generational.
right
I thought
You
Trent was a
lot are talking to the
generational
wrong
player.
now.
guy, man.
Trent's still messaging pregnant women. That's what he's doing. He's got the game.
Klopp is
He's got to do. He's got to do.
Klopp is the most overrated manager in the world. He has been for some time.
Why?
How you can compare him to Pep Mourinho is a shambles.
Why is he the most overrated manager in the world?
Because look at when you compare him to Pep and Mourinho, look what they've won. Look what they've won compared to Klopp. You can't say he's even the top two managers in the Premier League when you look at Pep and Jose CV. You should compare Klopp to managers in the past like Wenger, the tier below. The tier below.
No. Don't bring
The tier below.
I don't like Arsenal. I have zero respect for Arsenal, but I have respect for Wenger. Wenger, along with
don't bring his name into this, Will. Don't bring Wenger's name in.
Wenger is nowhere near the level of Mourinho, Pep, or Fergie. Nowhere near.
In England, I think he's above Mourinho in my eyes. It's bias in that.
You can say it's legacy because of longevity, but if you look at them on managerial ability, you'd have to say Jose and Pep are clear of Wenger.
Yeah, because I'm not going to get into debate. It's not debate. We wasted Arsene Wenger's prime. That's what I'm going to say. But don't change the subject here, because back to Liverpool, that performance was out of dead, bro. Honestly, within 5 minutes from a long throw, where Richarlison puts the ball in the back of the net. First time in 22 years, Everton have won at Anfield. Don Carlo, bro, just absolutely finesse Klopp the whole game.
Oh yeah,
I think everything was.
Another manager better than Klopp, yeah, Ancelotti.
No, but everything to a man. Everton, they played their best game of the season in my eyes. It was better the game they played against us, better against the game against Tottenham. I think every Everton fan will remember this for years to come. I think this is their cup final as well, so they got another thing to parade around.
They're gonna put it.
I'm
they're
gonna
gonna
go
make
off
a
Liverpool
DVD.
here. I think Liverpool were too arrogant during the summer when most of the fans, I'm not saying you, Sonny, but most of the fans, Ram, said that you won't get any injuries and they'll be able to sustain this title-winning form for 4 years. And I said, what's going to happen is one of your players is going to get injured and you're going to collapse. And Van Dijk got injured.
To be fair, you can call saying. I don't know what he said, but saying no injuries, you can't call that. I would never do that. But this isn't one player injured.
Happen, Sonny, because for 3 years none of your best players got injured.
Samuel, this could have gone on 10 years. This isn't normal.
You can say that, but come on, most of other teams had injuries as well. Manchester United had injuries,
Let me put it this way. So before we got Kabak, Jordan Henderson was our fourth choice centre back. So that means our four centre backs. Henderson's came out today. He could miss the rest of the season. So we have 4 of our starting centre backs pretty much gone for the whole season.
You are finished if Henderson's up. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, some scam.
Sorry to laugh.
I'm looking forward to this.
The thing I want to say is, why didn't Liverpool recruit in the summer after winning the league?
I can't.
You want to improve.
I don't rate empathy, but I can't tell you.
Increases.
It's American owners. They've proven over the years when they take over, especially Premier League clubs, they only care about the money intake and their profits. Liverpool win the Champions League and then the Premier League in 2 different seasons. Technically within the same calendar year. As an American owner, probably watching NFL or some shit or something with their other like owned clubs, they're thinking, yeah, we're just going to bring in the money there. We are so good, we don't need to invest. Or if we're going to invest, we don't need to buy someone that can make Firmino better, someone that can challenge Firmino up front, someone that's better than Gomez, because I think he's rubbish, by the way. Someone who's better than Gomez and that can partner Van Dijk. Because imagine they bought a decent centre back. Van Dijk's out injured, no problem.
I completely agree about Gomez. Gomez is very overrated.
Yeah, very, because he plays next to Van Dijk. That's the only reason.
He's a good partner for Van Dijk, I guess, but on his own, he's just a bit. with
Yeah,
Gomez,
no,
he's
I get
not.
where you're
I
coming
wouldn't say he's actually awful. I think that's me going a bit over the top. But I think he's just a decent centre back. That's what I'd just call him.
He's still young, to be fair. He's 23.
Mhm.
He's 23 and probably had about 23 injuries. He's not going to
Yeah.
have a good career. He's had the best
I
years
wouldn't
of his
say
career
that.
already.
He's already had a good
He's-
career.
Yeah,
he's the most injury prone player I've probably ever seen. He plays about 4 games and he's out. Apart from Matip as well, who I don't know. I just think your recruitment isn't that good. I'm not going to lie. You signed Matip for free, yes, but if you look at his injury record, why would you sign him? It's like signing Thiago.
I agree. It's a
When
shame.
was the last time Thiago had a full season?
Yeah, and you got if you compare your owners to Chelsea's as well, spending is not our issue, but it's spending it in the right positions. How we look at players and buy them is actually a little bit atrocious. If you look at how we spent our money in the last 4 years, if you look at the season after we won the league, we bought players like Kennedy and Baba Rahman and players like that. It's just and then you look at the season after we won the league under Conte. You look at Bakayoko, Morata. Rudiger's been. I wouldn't say Rudiger's a flop overall because he's contributed to us winning trophies, but you got players like that.
I think he's been your best centre back since he came in. To be perfectly honest,
Actually, maybe yes, but if you look at I feel a little bit bad for him in the sense that who's actually partnered him. You got Zuma, who we've already agreed that he's not that good at all.
I think if you're going to talk about owners, though, as a fellow Manchester United fan and someone who I knows lived through all the pain post Sir Alex Ferguson, I think Ibs can understand when I say we have genuinely the worst owners ever. We spend money.
Arsenal as well. Arsenal can
we have worse owners as well.
I feel like Arsenal are different though. No banter here, but you're just not a top side anymore. Like we are a top side trying to genuinely win trophies.
No, but with Kroenke, we were top side. The moment Kroenke came in 2006, you can see that's been done for ever since. So Kroenke
Samuel, you and I were having this debate, yeah? I said that Lille and Lyon would easily beat that Arsenal team. Do you guys agree?
They wouldn't. My eyes, they wouldn't.
I think they would.
No, that Arsenal team, if they're all fit, it's quite good, to be fair. I think the starting 11, it's just the bench would be rubbish.
I think Lyon would beat you, I think Lyon would beat you. And
I don't think so.
Can I just go back, to what you said in 06? That is 15 years ago.
Yeah, and Kroenke's been owner for 15 years. So
yeah, you've been
going worse and worse.
If you're going to bring 06 into the fact that that's when you started your decline, then you haven't been a big side for about 9 years. But
no, I'll say you this: it's like just like Fergie won trophies on the Glazers.
Yeah, because he was the best manager in.
But also, if take account Arsene Wenger, we wasted his prime for him with players like Buish, Mac, or Bentner. We got them all those players during this prime from say 07 when we first moved to Emirates to 2016 during Arsene Wenger's prime, where people said the spend campaign that we had at the time, but as a future went on, people realized it was less of Wenger and more of the board and money not being available to him.
Money wasn't available to Sir Alex Ferguson. Yeah, no, you disrespected Wenger as a whole. As a fan base, you were spoiled, and I think sometimes you just need to appreciate what you have when it's there. Because I reckon half your fans will take Wenger back in a heartbeat.
Exactly.
I was never Wenger. I was never Wenger. I backed him to the end, but I think time ran its course, and the club decided because they saw that what our owners see when they watch our games is the empty seats. And that impacts them financially, so that's why Wenger went. But as of right now, if there was empty seats at Arteta, I think he would be sacked. But as there's no fans, and they hand selected Arteta as well, according to a handful of articles, and I think Arteta is here to stay.
That was an awful decision when you look at it, getting Arteta. I'm not even trying to diss him. It's just when you look at the team you have, he's just not good enough. He's just not good enough as a manager right now.
Why did he deserve the Arsenal job?
Yeah.
Apart from
no
the
other
other managers, man. When people say you look at proven managers, but they wouldn't go to Arsenal. There's still better managers out there than Arteta, man.
Yeah, Arteta. Technically, every single manager in the world is better than Arteta because he hadn't proven anything. Only thing he'd proven is that he might have studied Pep Guardiola a little bit.
And obviously, you said as a manager, as a coach, he looks very good, and he probably will be a very good coach. But as a manager, that's a completely different. It's completely different. You've got to have a completely different skill set to manage a squad of players. Obviously, you have your assistant manager and whatever, but he's sort of he at Man City was the assistant, wasn't he? So he didn't really have that first-hand experience to learn his trade, which I think you need before going to a big club.
But I believe with the right backing, he can do things. But we as a club, I think he's going to get sacked eventually because it's not going to be him. It's going to be us as the board and a club laying him down and not giving him the available finances to make him compete for the top honors.
I think Arsenal in general are just a bit of a weird club. I don't think you have a very good fan base. I know, to be perfectly honest, I'm past laughing at Arsenal.
Yeah.
Because I know you didn't win when was the last time you won a title? I think it was 2004.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in 2015 screaming that you're finishing fourth. Arsene Wenger was the only reason that you finished that high in the table. The quality of players that you had shouldn't be finishing that high. You ran him out of the club. You replaced him with people that can't manage to a level that he was at, and now you're just not there. You don't really deserve to have a manager that's good, because all that's going to happen is that if you don't finish in the top three with a new manager that's going to bring you back to the top, he's going to run him out as well.
No, but
may I add on to what you just said about their fan base? In their fan base, there's no real balance to it. You either got one side which is get Arteta out now. He's done nothing good, which is wrong. He's won them a trophy. To be fair, last year he did a decent job, I guess, overall. You got that side that just want him out now. They don't care who they get in. They're not really thinking too much about it. And then you got the other half, which are so far up their own arse. They can't see that Arteta is not a top manager. It's like for me there's no balance when I see the argument. Yeah,
Manchester United are exactly the same. I know I would hope that Ibs is Ollie in right now, but a few months ago I need Ollie out now because my mental health is suffering. But he's dragged it back.
I think that's what Arsenal fans, because they've been going through that for such a long time with managers. They've had their ups and downs and they just don't know what's going to happen. That's why there's always screaming that their manager's not good enough. But then they might say, he's done very well this game. And it's on a constant cycle. And I think that's what Man U fans have kind of felt recently. But now we're second, so...
I like most of the fan base, like I know a lot of people have been willing to give him to the summer if he gets his players he wants, he gets the backing he wants. As of right now, we're not in a good position, but we finished 8th last season. People said, we don't have a good enough squad in my eyes. Most of the players are not good enough. I think some of those players aren't his players. Yes, he selects the lineup, but he didn't sign most of his players. So I think if he gets the backing in the summer and he still doesn't succeed, I want him out by November.
And that's fair. That's fair enough, Samuel, because you're balanced about the situation. Arteta's not a top manager, but you see, there's no real improvement.
I think he will. But as of right now, I don't see him being a top manager at Arsenal. But I think he'll be one of the best managers one day. But
you said there, if he doesn't get the backing in the summer, why is he the manager if he's not going to get back?
I think there's still a majority of fan base. They still want him to stay. But I think by November, there'll be fans back into the stadiums. And I think with fans there's added pressure.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
If he feels like he can perform, I think our fan base can just turn on anything. When we want a manager out, we will never change our minds. People want Wenger out since 2010, 2011. So I believe if we continue on this bad run or bad form, he's going to be sacked.
For me, you guys...
of Arsenal, sorry, just really quick, we need to move on from this. Arsenal, Manchester City, for me, that defending for the Man City goal, it was shocking. So I think if you make one defensive error against Man City, what's the point? You're not scoring against them.
Is Raheem Sterling City's smallest player?
Yeah.
Bernardo Silva. It's either him or Bernardo Silva, but
Do you know what's interesting about that? The whole game with that is that you've got Arsenal fans going, at least we didn't lose by more than one goal.
That's how
is
far you fall.
Yeah, I've heard
That's how
That's
far they
shocking.
fallen.
that's
we
embarrassing.
don't
Nobody
claim him.
said like he didn't say the same.
I'm happy.
I didn't say that.
I've seen Arsenal fans say that, yeah, and they're saying they played well. For me, they did pretty much nothing. They just let Man City control the game after they scored that goal and did nothing. They didn't get smashed. If City wanted to smash Arsenal, they could have. They just wanted to sit back, control the game, see out the result, and it was a professional performance. But Arsenal should take nothing away from that whatsoever.
In Arsenal's defence, they did create a few chances. I do feel sorry for Saka in a sense because he's their best player, in my opinion. And the chances that he did have to create something, I just don't feel like the other players were there at all to help him. There were, I remember 2 or 3 times in the first half where he was run about 30-something yards with the ball. And then he's having to look around, look behind him to make sure that players are actually running with him. And it's just things like that make me think Arsenal they don't even deserve to be near the top.
Saka, that guy is so good. Oh my God. Saka needs to do an Ashley Cole and move to Chelsea. That's what he needs to do. We need to get him at the bridge.
Has he signed a contract, Saka?
Yeah, he's got a long-term contract at Arsenal now.
I don't think contracts mean anything in terms of whether a player stays or not. It's purely just let's get as much money out of you as possible if you do go.
Listen, like I said, if we get rid of Saka, it won't be the end of the club. We've gotten rid of players before, so even if he wants to leave and we get a good value out of him, it won't be the end of Arsenal.
Well,
Sam,
what did you think about the game against Man City then?
I saw no effort in the team, bro. Honestly, from the first minute, we had on the Gas channel, I had a better energy. Then 1 minute, Man City score. I just want to go look at Holding and Bellingham. No, in the first minute. When the game started,
first minute, how did they?
I was thinking that I can get something. I feel it, and then City score just had that. But I just want to go and Rob Holding and Hector Bellerin because Hector Bellerin lost his man there. I don't know what he was doing because the whole game Bellerin just looked lost. I went on him yesterday on the Arsenal show, and I'll go on him again because he's not good enough to play for Arsenal. I think Cedric should play every single game from now on because even at left back, Cedric played. He's better. Cedric is better than Bellerin.
Those are your fullback options. It's amazing.
Who gassed up Rob Holding? I was seeing people say comparing him to good defenders in the league. I was seeing people say he's better than John Stones. I was seeing people say he's better than bloody Harry Maguire. And Harry Maguire isn't the best centre back in the world, but he's so much better than Holding. That's actually a little bit disrespectful to Maguire.
If Maguire played to his strengths, he would genuinely be very good. But he plays a way that I don't think he should play.
Yeah, he's next to Lindelof, which Lindelof is not bad technically, but it's just they don't suit each other, and that's what partnerships are quite underrated, aren't they? In football these days, you can't just—it's not Ultimate Team. You can't just throw all the best players in and expect it to work. You've got to have balance, and Manchester United don't really have that.
But Arsenal genuinely just need to improve their whole team, not just a couple of players. You signed Partey. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if he played against Man City. I don't think he did.
No, he's injured.
He's injured. He's looked good when he's played, but if you really want to get somewhere, challenge up the top 4 again or trying to scrape in the top 3, you need to sign players like him just in different positions because he's too good for Arsenal. Again, no offense to Arsenal, but he's too good. He's an elite level player. I think he'll sign for someone like Man City, I think.
Yeah. You know Awar, yeah. And okay, I'm gonna get called a Mount hater for this. Yeah, I rate Mount, he's gonna be a good player, but Awar is what Chelsea fans think Mount is. Like the top, I call them top blues, the ones that want to back all the youth players to the end. They'll back the youth players over any other player. That Houssem Awar is goals and assists, and they say, oh, they judge him off of that. But if you watch him play, he's a fantastic player, and he would be a game changer for Arsenal. No, I do rate Mount. I just think Awar is better.
Yeah, Awar is better. I mean, if we're talking about youngsters, can I just get your opinion on Curtis Jones?
Yeah, very good. He has no problem with getting a start because Klopp obviously rates him, but he starts for Premier League champions, and he should not be starting for Premier League champions. That's why I stand.
We have an honest Liverpool fan here.
I think he's very average. I've not seen anything from Jones in anything special whatsoever.
That's a bit unfair.
I think he's not. I don't think he's awful, but he's just okay.
Now, to
I
be
feel-
fair, when he's played, he's been our best midfielder. It's just the only problem is being our best midfielder isn't difficult at this moment in time.
Yeah, I mean, some Liverpool fans hold him to the heights of Foden and Greenwood, which I think is a joke.
Yeah.
We love Greenwood, we do.
Ibs, I want to get your thoughts on Man United Newcastle because for me, you
Yeah.
played really bad, like really bad. But what would happen last season if you played really bad? You would have lost that game and you won 3-1. So
I think that's the difference this season. Like some games this season, we play our worst football. We took the lead with Rashford. He was with a great strike, and then obviously the defending in the box goes back to Harry Maguire, who's apparently our leader, our captain. He gets ahead of the ball and it goes straight to St. Maximin's feet, and then they score. And that whole game was just poor, and it just comes down to Bruno, who was non-existent but gets a goal and assist. Where would we be without Bruno? Literally.
Yeah, hasn't Bruno played like 59 games and got 55 goal contributions? It's something like that.
Yeah, it's
That's in all competitions. I know in the Premier League, in 39 games, he's got 40 goal contributions, and don't care what you can say anything you want about him. You can call him the least technical player about. You call him overrated stat padder, but I'm going to get slated for this. He's going to be in the Ballon d'Or conversation because really and truly, the Ballon d'Or conversation is about stats.
Is that Bruno? Are you talking about Bruno?
Yeah, I'm
Bruno.
talking about Bruno.
What do you mean by
If
that?
he-
Because Tadic was like top 20 in the Ballon d'Or conversation. Would he say top 10, top 5?
No, but to be fair, the only thing holding Bruno back is he's probably not going to win anything.
If we win the Europa League and the FA Cup and we finish in the top 2, I would be offended if he wasn't in the Ballon d'Or conversation.
That's quite a big ask, though, isn't it?
It is quite a big ask, but we have the quality in our team.
But do the Ballon d'Or even care about a top 2 in that? I swear that it's trophy and stats.
Well, Modric won it.
Modric, yeah. Modric probably did deserve it overall that year.
Absolutely not. Messi did. If you're really talking about the Ballon d'Or is for the best player, Messi or Ronaldo should win it every year. Modric won it because it was political, because he was the world's darling that year.
Van Dijk then on that, Van Dijk should have won it then.
Messi still should have won it because Messi is the best player in the world. Van Dijk isn't the best player in the world.
Van Dijk for me in 18.
No, what
was it
was talking about
18-19?
best player in the world? This is a year thing. This is a year
Van
thing.
Dijk for me in
Yeah.
18-19 was the best player in the world.
No, because I know you're going to bring up he wasn't dribble pass, but then I could just talk about Lindelof hadn't been dribble pass.
No,
for
but he won.
equal amount of time.
He was crucial. He was crucial. He got them 97 points and won the Champions League. Come on.
No, if Van Dijk hasn't won it that year, I don't see where a defender wins it.
Yeah, exactly.
The last defender was
And I don't-
Yeah.
But you got to be honest. Van Dijk was unreal that year.
In
I'm
the
not
future,
saying
you've
Van
got
Dijk was bad.
Haaland and Mbappe, and they're going to stat pad everywhere.
Yeah, and that's what the Ballon d'Or is about. That's what these competitions are about. The only reason attackers win it all the time is because they get 40 goals and 20 assists in a year, and that's what people see. A lot of people that talk about football, I don't think watch football, and which is why players like Messi and Ronaldo apparently finished, because they're not still scoring 50, 60 goals in a year, but they're still doing pretty much the same amount of stuff.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I don't know. I think you've got to look at it as in on that individual year. So that for me, Van Dijk deserved it in that year. I'm not saying Messi's finish or Ronaldo's finish because they're not finished. That's just stupid.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think to be fair, that they're finished is sort of like PR for just like the Haaland and Mbappe. That's what it is really.
soon Greenwood, soon come.
And before we end the stream, we've spoken about the games. I want to speak about those two, Haaland and Mbappe. Who would you take at your club?
Oh, we had this discussion, Anton, and I just said Mbappe overall.
I think we both.
As an overall player, I said Mbappe.
I go with Mbappe. Yeah,
I go for Haaland, man. This guy scores from anywhere. He scores every single goal you could imagine.
See, Liverpool wouldn't. I mean, Liverpool would suit
I'm not
Haaland
even
way
thinking
better
who
than
would suit
Mbappe.
us though. I'm not even thinking like that. I'm thinking Haaland. Since he scored that hat trick on whatever debut it was for Salzburg in the Champions League, when has he ever had a bad bit of form?
But look at the
never had
players
a bad
around
bit
him.
of form.
You have to look at the players around him. He's got Jadon Sancho, who's one of the best assists.
But what about
assists
Mbappe?
in the world.
Mbappe's had a bad bit of form.
Sancho is
Haaland.
Sancho is arguably this. Don't hold me to this, because there could be statistically better creative wingers. But if you look at creative wingers, young creative wingers, you'd probably say Sancho this season has been the best.
I think Sancho has been the best for the past 2 years. If you look at the stats, because last season he got 20 goals and 20 assists plus, like both.
Yeah,
and I think he was a teenager last year. Correct me if I'm wrong. But...
And as well, people were saying that at the start of the season, Sancho's been poor. If you actually watch him play, he wasn't getting as many goals and assists at the start, but he was still involved with games.
Yeah, he's a massive reason why Haaland is doing as well as he is. Their partnership is
very
incredible,
wonderful,
and I feel like without someone like Sancho, literally putting stuff on a plate for him, because a lot of the goals that Haaland does score.
No.
I'm not. Let me land. Let me cook this one up.
How about without Sancho, man?
He's speaking the truth, though.
You have players at Dortmund. Dortmund are such a unique team in terms of the players they bring through. All youth players. Well, most of them. They have Reina and Sancho, who would assist kings already at their young age. A lot of the goals that Haaland scores are played through past the defender, and it's just 1-on-1 with the keeper.
All right, let me ask you this: then, what if there's no Haaland?
If there's no Haaland,
then their chances created will still be the same. It will just be less assists.
Yeah, Haaland is an amazing. Don't get me wrong. Haaland is an amazing finisher.
What you're doing is you're underrating Haaland's link-up play. Like his
not
at all. Not at all.
Haaland's link-up play is not as good as everyone says it is. It's not as good. I think
it's underrated.
It's not bad, but if you look at that Sevilla game, Haaland and Sancho linked up a couple of times. But if you look at the rest of the game, when he was trying to link play, he couldn't. He wasn't.
But you know, one thing I say about Haaland, he's the only realistic player I'll say of breaking the Champions League goal record in my eyes.
Yeah, 100%.
Champions League, he scores in almost every game. You look at his conversion rate; it's 50% conversion rate.
Yeah,
average striker is like 11 or 12%. So he's a special player.
I don't think it's that low, Samuel. I think it's 21. I think it's 21%.
But still, that's more than double that for Haaland anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So, may I say one thing about Haaland? And obviously Chelsea have been linked. I'm not saying we're going to get Haaland because I don't think realistically we probably won't. But people want to get Haaland and play him up top with Werner. Why? Why would you want to try? Why would you get Haaland to accommodate Werner? Why not just accommodate Haaland and get the best out of him? I don't understand. Because if you play Haaland up front and play Pulisic and Hudson-Odoi, two creative wingers alongside him, he'd score so many goals. Why play him with Werner? It makes no sense.
Sonny, can I ask you a question? It's about Haaland, Werner, Haaland and Mbappe. If you put Haaland in the PSG team, do you think he scores as much?
What? Mbappe?
Yeah, because look at Sancho. I think Sancho's main thought on the pitch is let me create a goal. Mbappe's main thought isn't let me create a goal. Neymar's main thought isn't let me create. They want to score. If Haaland's in that PSG team, he doesn't get the ball half as much as he does in that Dortmund team. I think.
But what you don't understand is Haaland's always in that right position. So whatever happens, he's
but
there.
If you can't find him, you don't have the quality around him to find him.
Yeah, the players won't be looking for him. They will look themselves to get the goal.
I'll say about Mbappe is one trophy away from doing it all. It's just the Champions League and the Ballon d'Or, and he's completed it.
And everyone at the start of the season was saying about how Mbappe's been dreadful this year. And to be fair, there was a few games where I looked at him and he didn't look himself. But he's still been great this season. Like everyone acted surprised when he scored that hat-trick against Barcelona. I don't understand why everyone was surprised.
It's because a lot of people don't watch the French league.
Yeah, it's true. But if you look at, I saw some people before the game that were talking about Barcelona, and they said Barcelona will win, and they were rating PK and Longley. PK is the definition of a finished player. Yeah. And if you look at Longley, he's crap. He's really bad. Crap. He's only rated because of FIFA. He literally is. That is the only reason Longley.
I'd agree with you there.
Yeah, but it's still Haaland.
Haaland all day, man. Team Haaland for me. So,
if you're playing bad, this guy's still scoring.
You can score from anywhere though, because that game against PSG last year in the Champions League where he beat Mbappe as a whole.
Mbappe knocked him out. But you
can't really see it was his fault though, because
Neymar knocked him out, not Mbappe.
Yeah,
They're
if
on
you
the same
could-
team. They're on the same team. Mbappe is a better player all round than Haaland, though. I don't even think that's a debate overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I
If
mean,
you'd rather have Haaland, fair enough. Because
what I find mad about Haaland is look at his physicality and his height. Like he doesn't look like someone who'd put up those numbers, and the pace that he has for his sort of physicality is mad.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and did you see that goal? The goal he scored against Schalke? Yeah, it was like Zlatan-esque.
Yeah. Oh,
Am I wrong in saying that Mbappe is overrated? Because I've been thinking this for a while. I mean, not saying he's bad. He's a world-class player, elite level player, future Ballon d'Or winner, but I think he's overrated.
I get what you mean. Because some people will say he's the best player in the world. He's
I
not
don't
the best
know.
player in the world.
No,
Yeah,
I think
people need to just chill out a little bit. Relax. He's not the best player in the world.
He's not better
Who?
than Neymar. He's not better than Ronaldo. He's not better than
Lewandowski,
Messi.
no.
He's not better than Lewandowski. He's not better than De Bruyne.
He's better
He's
than
not better than
Salah.
Kimmich.
no, that's a two.
I'm not sure what people's obsession with Kimmich is. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, well, you mentioned him a few times this stream. You got someone to tell us?
No, with Kimmich, when I've watched Bayern and either Goretzka or Kimmich aren't there, they sort of collapse.
Kimmich is one of the best in his position, but he's not one of the best in the world. I can think of a lot of players who are better than him.
But then when you're the best in that position and you're winning, when you're the out and out best in that position and you're winning titles, and playing extraordinary there, surely you've got to be in the top 10 for players in the world.
With Bayern Munich, I can only look at Lewandowski because without him, how many goals? 50 plus goals last season, almost 60 goals.
And he's got one of the best mentalities in that team. Because for me, if you look at the likes of Sane, I don't think his mentality's there. I just don't think it. I think he looks lazy for Bayern.
There's a reason City let him go.
Oh, we were gonna go there about Sane because
He's a very good player.
Lost for City though.
yeah.
Massive loss, but I mean, when you're Pep Guardiola, you don't let your best players go. Without a really good reason?
Is it just me who thinks Gnabry's a bit overrated?
Don't listen to me.
Sam, you were going to say now he got rejected by Arsenal for a reason.
No. It was a mistake to let Gnabry go at the time because that's all the potential in him. But
I'm not
it is
saying.
what it is.
I'm not saying. Obviously, he'd be Arsenal's best player, but I'm just saying. For me, I think he's a bit overrated.
He's just not that consistent, I don't think.
Yeah.
Ibs, would you take Gnabry United?
No, not even Rashford. There's no way I'd take him over Rashford.
I'd put Gnabry up front.
You
Yeah.
can play on the right. You need the right winger.
Also,
But I prefer when Gnabry plays. When I see him on the left, he looks better than he's on the right. He's right-footed, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I remember what he done against Tottenham. That was disgusting. Anyway, we have reached the end of the stream. Thank you everyone for watching. Will, have you got anything you want to plug?
You can just. Well, I don't need to plug my Twitter. Really, it's pointless going over there. I talk a lot of shit on there, really. So you can find me on Kai's channel at KHNoFilter. Make sure you do that up, people. Ibs.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter _IBZ7_ and YouTube, All Things Football.
Samuel.
Samuel 4002 AFC on Twitter and EGTV Igal on YouTube.
Anton.
My Twitter is on the name Anton Brooks AMB and the same YouTube channel as Ibs. We present All Things Football together.
Go check it out. For me, LFC Sonny on Instagram and Twitter. And on Twitter at the LFC Addiction. Thank you everyone for watching. Please do me a massive favor by leaving a like on the video. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel as well with notifications on, and we'll speak to you all next time.